Flying drones are fun until you find something you weren't meant to find. That's right, today we're checking out some unsettling things found on drones. Number 10, abandoned tour. There is a certain allure about abandoned buildings. Look through any online urban exploration groups to identify abandoned and decaying structures that have been abandoned but are still standing. The main drawback of investigating abandoned buildings is that it can be rather risky. Searching around a dilapidated old building might not be the best use of your time if you don't want to risk getting wounded by falling buildings or breaking construction components and possibly going to jail. Not to mention all the ghosts who would undoubtedly call these locations home. Thank goodness for drones nowadays. Filmmaker Lucas Luenda explores the nooks and crannies of a haunted abandoned place in an award-winning video by mounting a GoPro to a drone. In fact, it's not quite clear what the structure was used for until it started to fall apart. Some parts of it appear to be schools or similar spaces, but overall it appears like it could have been a factory. In several places, nature has taken over and vegetation grows up next to graffitied walls and cracked concrete. Even during the day, it's rather unsettling. Just consider how horrifying this location would appear at night. Number 9, Tsunami Aftermath. An earthquake with a magnitude of 7.5 occurred on September 28, 2018, not far from the Indonesian island of Sulawesi. Although the earthquake caused very little damage, it was believed to have caused a modest tsunami. According to Scientific American, shortly after the tsunami, investigators discovered that waves in Palu, the provincial capital of central Sulawesi, reached 20 feet, more than twice the earlier estimates. Because central Sulawesi is situated on a very long and narrow bay that is only 20 miles wide, the tsunami passed through the region fast, pushing tons of debris across the land and into the ocean on the other side of the bay. Additionally, the earth grew extremely wet, causing massive mudslides that worsened the situation. Almost 4,300 individuals were left in an endless state of sleep by the tsunami, which was one of the biggest to strike Indonesia in almost 10 years. Drone footage of the city started to surface a few days after the accident. Viewing the wreckage from above, you can appreciate the magnitude of the damage. Some regions are still underwater, houses are a little more than rubble, and bridges lie crumbled. Number 8, tornado. Storm chasers not only provide us with breathtaking images and videos, but they also educate us about the characteristics that can cause tornadoes, their movement, and other related topics. Additionally, you'll be seeing more and more drone videos of tornadoes in real time in the future. Videos of tornadoes shot from the ground are common, and although they are frightening, witnessing one from the air is both terrifying and amazing. Fortunately, the video of this specific tornado, which was captured in April 2019 close to Sulphur, Oklahoma, shows mostly trees and tiny fences being uprooted and flung aside as the twister churns onward. To give you an idea of the size of the storm, earlier in the video you can see a cell tower and a few semi-trucks in the area. Number 7, forest fire. These days, there are usually hundreds of forest fires that threaten both people and property annually, and they also always keep getting bigger. Videos of wildfires are always available, but they are typically shot from above or from a helicopter, which means they are inherently inaccessible. Now for drones. Even while they may experience comparable difficulties as helicopters, such as turbulent air and poor sight, they can approach and remain far safer than any aircraft carrying many passengers. This video appears to be a typical nature shot until the drone soars over the forest line and smoke appears in the distance. You can see the extent of the fire though, when the drone zooms in for a closer look. Smoke rises into the sky as a vast area of trees catches fire. Even when this particular fire is not as large as some of the recent West Coast wildfires, it still appears vast and provides perspective for those massive fires. Number 6, Daredevil Heights. Most likely you see cell phone towers on a daily basis. Have you ever pondered how the top thing is installed or kept up to date? It turns out that a person straight up just climbs the tower. Now, a normal cell phone tower is about 200 feet tall, which is really far up. What about a broadcast tower that is 1,500 feet tall? You might be thinking there has to be a specific technique to maintain those. No. The tale is the same. It takes a very composed person under duress to scale the entire thing to operate on that equipment. Plus, it's essentially a free climb. The climbers do carry some safety gear, but much of the bulky gear is just that, heavy. Thanks to the wonders of drone technology, this video captures one of these climbs. If you're not afraid of heights, chances are this would still make your skin crawl. The free climb is almost a quarter of a mile straight up. This structure is actually 50 feet higher than the Willis structure, originally Sears Tower, Tower in Chicago, which is 1,450 feet tall if you exclude its apex. Number 5. Escaped convict. A Chinese man named Song Jiang was found guilty of some terrible stuff in 2002. He broke out of jail and essentially disappeared. After 17 years without sighting, police received a tip that he was residing in the mountains of Yunnan province, not far from his homeland. The area was deemed too dangerous for police to search on foot. Rather, they used a drone to fly over the area in September 2019, and that's when they were able to locate the hideout of this horrifying, eerie criminal. The atmosphere grew more eerie when police officers walked up to the scene. Zhang had been cut off from people for so long, according to CNN, that he was unable to converse with the authorities when they attempted to speak with him. Police rearrested Zhang after they had re-established his identity. Inside his cave, they discovered layers of bedding, multiple blackened pans, and proof that he had been cutting his own hair, according to NBC News. Zhang appeared to have not had a shower or cleaned his clothes in a long time. Number 4. Red River. Typically confined to the Book of Revelation or terrifying films, rivers of ichor aren't something you ever truly anticipate to witness. Thus, when David Mimlich piloted a homemade drone over the Trinity River in Dallas, Texas in 2011, it was probably not something he expected. D Magazine claims that during his lunch break, Mimlich took a few aerial pictures. This one doesn't have a video, which is probably a good thing because it shows that an actual river of ichor is just as terrifying as you would expect. Mimlich went back to his job and went over a few of the pictures he had taken during the flight. That's when he noticed a stretch of the river that was dark red. Mimlich considered the possibility that it was ichor, but he soon wrote it off as absurd. Nevertheless, he got in touch with the National Response Center, who looked into it and discovered that the river was, in fact, ichor contaminated, particularly pig ichor, which was obtained from the upriver meatpacking plant Columbia Packing Company, which was unlawfully disposing of massive volumes of pig ichor into the river rather than correctly. Number 3. Cornfield Clown. While flying above a sizable cornfield, a teenage pilot noticed something vivid orange. He looks more closely at what looks to be a scary looking scarecrow, and it looks at the drone. Surely scarecrows are immobile. It's a human who will scare anything away, not just an ordinary object to frighten birds away. There's someone loitering in the cornfield wearing a bright orange blouse and a clown mask. As soon as the clown notices the drone, he books it, leaving you to wonder what the heck the clown was doing down there. The pilot decides not to pursue the clown as he runs into the woods, maybe because he doesn't want to have to navigate through low-hanging branches. Most terrifying of all, he's not too far from the location where the clown disappeared when he pilots the drone back to his current location. Number 2. Active volcano. One of the two types of videos of volcanoes have likely been seen by you. In one, lava pours slowly down a hill, melting everything in its path. In the other, a major eruption is taking place, but because volcanoes are dangerous and safety is crucial, the footage was taken from a very considerable distance away. There are two reasons why there aren't many movies available of lava boiling inside of a volcano's cone. Not only is it usually too hot for most cameras, but it's also far too hot for humans, not to mention the harmful gases. Even if a person is not in contact with any lava, the ambient temperature within a volcano can reach temperatures high enough to set them on fire in an instant. But technology is coming to the rescue. Volcanologists can now record videos inside volcanoes thanks to drones that can withstand extremely high temperatures. Number 1. A shark in action. Because the water is foggy, a team of researchers utilizes a drone to film sharks from above. They managed to catch one of the sharks doing what they do best, preparing to eat. When viewed from above, the shark searches for seals, who typically hide among the rocks near the coast to avoid situations like this one. But because of the strong tide, the shark has little trouble moving around the rock. The behavior of the shark reveals what's going on to the film crew, who prepare for a lunchtime show featuring a marine predator. Unable to discern the shark's near vicinity, the seal approaches its voracious foe head-on. The shark attacks in a matter of seconds after darting forward, and shortly after that, ichor encircles the two in the water. That's our list. Thanks so much for watching. Give us a follow if you'd like to keep exploring the world with us. I've been your host, Yusuf, and I hope you have a fantastic day.